10.
I just lost my. I clicked the button, people. My intro just went away. Sorry. No intro today, I guess. It started.
Stargate.
On. I click because I got to get the intro put because you know how you can set up different profiles on StreamYard. You know, I don't know if you've done that before.
Yeah,
but I've got like one set up for geek stuff and one set up for regular Never Enough Ammo stuff. And my countdown is on the Never Enough Ammo side. And then so what I just tried to do was play the countdown and then switch over so that my background and everything would be the background for the geek stuff. And it just cut the intro off because I guess it was like, oh, we're not playing that shit. You changed. So anyway.
I've done that also. Have you run into the 100 item limit yet?
No.
Yeah, even though we're paying for it, there is one bad part about StreamYard. You get to 100 items like videos and clips and all that, and then it'll say, oh, you got 100, delete some.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I only have a handful.
Well, I used to just keep loading them up there, but evidently, yeah, there's 100.
Yeah. I've got different stuff, I mean, I've got like I can put like overlays up in front of it, or I can put like the bloody one, or weird like blood splatter across the screen. I've got a few of them. This one's just goofy looking.
Wow.
That one's not bad. I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like the blood splatters.
Where do you make them out of? What software?
Some of them I made and some of them I found. A couple of the blood splatter overlays, I just downloaded those. Those were easy. So I don't have as much stuff loaded on the geek side as I do on the other one because I spend way more time on the other one. So
I figure you just took a piece of glass, killed something or cut something, and then let it bleed on the glass and took a picture of it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't. Yeah, I don't have enough. I don't have very many. I guess I got some different backgrounds and stuff. Like you can't really see them that well, but like I just like the one with all the comic panels behind it.
Yeah, but sometimes when there's like two people in here, then you can see the background really well.
Yeah, I usually don't play around with this. And all these different little positions that you can put. I don't know. I don't play around with it. I don't mess around with it that much. So we get some. Let's see.
How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing good, right? I'm just assuming that. I have no idea. I didn't ask anybody. Just like, yeah, everybody's doing good. Oh, there it is, Tim.
Bad.
There it is, Tim.
And something I figure we can discuss is how you straighten, like, I don't know if you see it, her right leg.
Very, very simple. Very, very simple indeed. Because that happens a lot when you buy these things.
She's kind of bow-legged on her right leg.
Yeah, it's called a blow dryer. See that?
Okay, I figured it was some kind of heat.
Yeah. So what happens if you just heat up? What it is the knee joint is made out of a thinner plastic, a softer plastic. And if you just heat up the knee joint, just hold a hair dryer on it for about 20, 30 seconds, it just goes back to its original form, its original shape or whatever.
Do they give you any shit for buying that hair dryer?
Huh?
Do they give you any kind of gruff for buying that hair dryer?
No, actually, I have that hair dryer for two reasons. One is for exactly what I just mentioned, which is I use it on, stuff that I'm working on. I also use it to help when I'm working on stuff to dry paint, if I'm doing painting or anything. Oh, you got Red Skull too. Yeah, I've got him.
I went back today and picked him up.
Yeah, that's cool. I like him.
Yeah,
well, that makes me think, do they make a Hellbringer? Is that the name of that movie?
You mean Hellraiser?
Hellraiser with the box and that guy with all the spikes. He looks kind of like that.
Dude, you can get Hellraiser.
Yeah, Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead. Do they make a thing at Pinhead?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say you could make one out of that guy.
Yeah, you could. It'd be a great model. Just paint it
this
white.
thing?
Now I'm kind of
Is there
wondering
any?
if I should go ahead and get the rest of them so I can finish.
Oh, Khonshu?
Yeah,
I've got a few pieces of Khonshu. That wave I didn't really like, so I didn't buy them all. I would like to have Khonshu, but that wave, like for one, it's got Howard the Duck, and his legs don't even move. He's kind of a shitty figure. and I don't care about Old Man Loki, and I didn't really care much about Kang or whatever his name is. So I just got the two zombies because there's Iron Man, zombie Iron Man, zombie Scarlet Witch, and Red Skull. Those are the only three I have. So I didn't get the rest of them.
I still want to get the zombie Iron Man because he looks pretty cool too.
So
I did get, though. Does everybody remember the what was it, 1988 Dolph Lundgren extravaganza, Masters of the Universe?
Yeah. How could we forget?
That's one way to put it.
Look at that.
That looks a lot like that one.
Skeletor. They did not get the likeness rights to Dolph Lundgren, so he's just got this regular, dumb looking fucking head, but it's got. But that
so that actor owns his own rights, or they got to get the rights from the owner of the movie.
Yeah, because it's with those types of rights, you have to get the rights to use their face.
Okay.
So
but otherwise, they just use
that
a
wasn't
face.
his face because he was wearing.
That one looks badass.
That one looks really close to the movie. From what
It
I
does.
remember.
It looks just like the movie. It looks awesome. So
he's badass.
Yeah, they had those.
I mean, I'm not a huge He-Man fan, but that Skeletor looks cool.
When you were showing that leg and that arm, that's like they'll do a run of action figures, and then like you'll each one of them in a series of 10 or something. I'll have like a piece, and then like Voltron, you put it together and you get another one.
Yeah.
While you bought the other set.
Yeah, exactly.
They do that all the time, or that's a new thing? Is that a?
They do that all the time. They've been doing that for 20 years.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, I've got a ton of them. A bunch of the ones that are like just bigger figures. You know what I mean? They're just big. So they put it out in parts with the other figures, and then you buy all the other figures, and you get to put this big thing together. So
really?
A lot of the larger figures that I've got behind me, that's what they were. They were ones you had to piece together.
Are they like bigger because the character is larger compared to the rest?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a Hulk or something? It's
Scarlet Witch here is a 6-inch scale. And there's the leg.
Who's that going to end up being?
Khonshu from Moon Knight.
Yeah.
He's the Egyptian god of the moon.
Oh, okay. The guy that he turns into or whatever. He talks to him or something.
Yeah.
I forget that one.
So they've got Khonshu. But yeah, I've got a bunch of them.
So in the show, though, that guy is larger than a human?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And I've got a bunch of them, but like, where's one? Here, like this dude here. This big dude is Ursa Major. He was a Build-A-Figure.
I guess that's kind of cooler than back in the day. Didn't we get like, you had to turn in like some kind of proof of purchases or something, and then you got a special figure that you only got by printing in proofs of purchase. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's usually how you get the bigger figures.
And you're kind of screwed because you don't get a cutout. You don't get any kind of packaging for that extra figure then, huh? There's no such thing as packaging for them.
Not for those. So, but
I still keep getting fucking pop-up teasing me about getting that fucking Ash and 2 Deadites that I showed you a while back, man.
Get it.
Because I've looked at it a couple times. I'm like, fuck you.
Just fucking get it. I've only got the one Ash. The figure. I've got all the pops and stuff.
You got the dude with his chainsaw in his hand?
Yeah, this dude right here.
From your tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ash.
Can you make him hold a book? You make him hold a book?
Yeah, he actually comes with the book, yeah. I don't have him holding it because I want him holding his shotgun and his chainsaw hand, but
yeah, but in the tattoo or whatever, in the logo, you got it with the shotgun over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I've seen that they actually sell those books.
He's got the thing on his back, so he can actually put the shotgun on his back and then hold the book.
Right.
So, but yeah, I've got that one. But yeah, I got those He-Man thing. Oh, do you remember? I don't know. I think we're all in here old enough to remember 80's toys or whatever. You know.
So I had a toy in the 80s. I had one toy in the 80s.
One toy, yeah. But remember back in the early 80s when Dungeons and Dragons started getting really popular? And despite all the parents saying it was like, it's demons and all that shit.
It's a cult, yeah.
Yeah. Remember there was
It's a
that company,
cult. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the name of the company, but there was a company called LJN that came out with a few figures and stuff of like figures for Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, but figures for the game.
The game. Yeah.
Remember they had a bunch of figures. Anyway, my local shop
you can have 2 figures, something like that.
Yeah, my local shop messaged me that he had gotten one in. I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember Grim Sword?
Is this the packaging?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the packaging. Here's the figure.
What's the front look like? Okay. Oh no, I definitely don't remember these.
Anyway,
cool.
when they came out in the 80s, they were only like that big. You know, they were little 3.75 inch figures. This thing's 8. This thing's 8 inches tall.
This is modern then?
Yeah, this is modern. They just came out. And then you'll probably remember that guy right there, War Duke, the little figure of War Duke.
Nope.
Yeah, so they got him too. He's not. Nobody has him.
You know what?
I don't have him yet.
The only thing I can remember from Dungeons and Dragons anymore that would be interesting to have as a little figure like that would be that basketball with eyes or something. Wasn't there some kind of monster that had a bunch of eyes, or it was either eyeball or it was a bunch of eyes when it floated around?
Yep. Oh, what's up, chat? How y'all doing?
I was zoomed in on the screen so I could see the figures better, and I heard snoring. I was like, damn, did Duke already pop in and start snoring?
No, Duke actually, he texted me about an hour and a half ago and said whatever he had early in the week, now both his kids and his wife have. So they're all throwing up and stuff. So he's playing doctor this weekend, and not like in the fun way, you know, but like he's the only person able to like get out of bed right now. So he's got 2 little ones and his wife that he's taking care of. So he texts me, he's like, dude, I don't think I'm going to make it tonight. And I was like, that's cool. Don't worry about it. Take care of your family. So
yeah, most definitely.
But yeah,
you can call it a little pug G-Web's bacon bit.
Yep.
He's a cute little bugger.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, Tom dropped in a super chat. Didn't say anything, just dropped in a super chat. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Typical Tom.
Typical Tom. That should be his new name. Typical Tom.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. That's
Sounds
the new
good to
name.
me.
Typical Tom. What's up, 500 Magnum? I got like one person watching on the Geek Fusion channel, I think. Everybody else is watching on the NEA channel because I'm broadcasting to both at the same time. But I see you over there. Oh, and G-Webs is here as well. So that's good. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I did want to talk about toys today, which we've already kind of talked about. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk a little bit. Did everybody see the new? And I don't know how y'all feel about this franchise, but did everybody see the new Fast and Furious trailer that just dropped day before yesterday?
I did. Yes, I did. It actually.
No, I've not seen that one yet, but I'm down.
It looks good. Yeah,
I love these movies. They're insane. They're ridiculous, and they border on stupid, but they're a lot of fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know a lot of people bitched about the last one because they literally put a rocket on a Pontiac Fiero and flew it into space.
Yeah,
and I thought that was
this point. It's like, why not?
That was the best part of the movie. That was fucking great.
Yep.
So unreal.
They're wearing these Korean War era, probably dive suits with the big brass helmets and
I love them. Anyway, the new trailer dropped and it looked great. It looks like a lot of fun because they're only doing 2 more, so it's 10 and 11. They're doing kind of the same thing that Mission Impossible is doing, where they're doing a 2-parter, and one movie comes out this year and one movie comes out next year, and they're doing the same thing. So 10 comes out this year, and I think 11 comes out next year, and that's like it's supposed to be the end. And so of course they're bringing everybody back. Basically everybody that's ever been in one of these movies that's not dead, like the one guy, or The Rock, because apparently The Rock and Vin Diesel hate each other. So he's not coming back. But like everybody else, like Jason Statham and all these other people that have been in all these movies, they're all coming back for these last 2 movies. So, but it looked awesome, man. Like these movies
Isn't the one guy dead?
the what?
Paul Walker, yeah, he
Paul
died in real
Walker's
life.
dead, yeah.
But he's in the trailer, right?
No, he wasn't in the trailer.
Because it's a flashback from what is it?
Oh yeah,
like
there was
Oh, it's a
seven,
flashback.
but-
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't keep track. Of
7 or 8, and I don't remember what fucking when they stole the vault out of Brazil.
5.
So then, what
5.
about what if at the end of the next one, Vin Diesel gets like he gets a spaceship or something, his eyes get blown out, and he goes up into space, and he
I mean,
just goes,
and he just survives it because he's so tough. Yeah.
no, I'm saying his eyes get blown out, and he becomes the beginning of the whole other series. You know, where he's blind and he's running around in space.
He's not blind in that movie.
No, it's the one where he's blind and he's driving around in space and everything. He's always dark.
He's not blind. He's got like
He's got
cybernetic
Space
eyes that he can see.
or whatever. Something happens to his eyes where he gets those space.
Yeah.
eyes. That's what I'm saying.
So he just becomes Riddick.
Yeah, he
Just-
becomes Riddick.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah, he
saying.
goes up into space. His eyes blow out. Aliens find him, give him new eyes. He becomes Riddick. There you go.
What do you think
Make it
of Jason Momoa playing the antagonist?
Oh, I like it. I dig it. I like Jason Momoa. He's
Oh,
fun
hell
in
yeah.
everything he's in, and you never really get to see him play the bad guy. I mean, not since Game of Thrones has he played the bad guy. Really, not in anything
Yeah.
big. I think he's played the bad guy in a couple of like lower budget movies, but not anything big. And even in Game of Thrones, like he kind of starts off as the bad guy, but like in the end, he's not really the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's only there for a season before he dies. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean no, I'm down. I like Jason Momoa. He always adds a little bit of something more fun to whatever movie he's in. So
Yeah.
it looked awesome, man.
But Game of Thrones had a habit of doing that, having characters around for one season and then killing them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is one of those shows, just kind of like The Walking Dead, where like nobody's really safe. You know?
Yeah.
Like it just like I still
in a way-
remember the last episode of season 1 where the main guy gets his head chopped off. Spoilers if
Yeah,
you weren't watching 11 years ago. But
Yeah, Ned Stark. Yeah.
like you're like, what? Because I've never read the books. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea. You know, I didn't know
Me too.
that. So I was watching the show and I'm into it, and like Ned Stark is the man, right? Like he's the main character. And then right at the end of the season, they just behead him, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then you know, yeah, that
Doesn't Sean die in just about everything he's in though?
yes, he does. That's like a thing for him. He gets killed off in like every movie he's in.
But see, I kind of like it that way though, where not necessarily every character is safe. You don't know who's gonna go because typically you get movies and shows where you get like one or two or a group of them that just survive everything, and it gets a little monotonous after a while. So you want a mix up.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially
like
when you're
them
talking
to
about
be-
shows like Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead, where the premise of the show and the world it takes place in is so dangerous. You know what I mean?
I like them to be realistic, like when you're flying down when you're driving down a bridge, and then 2 helicopters harpoon you with 2 separate harpoons, and then you turbo boost and pull those helicopters
Pull 'em
down,
down,
into
yeah.
the street with you. Yeah.
Which honestly is actually one of the more realistic things they've ever done. Because I know we see movies all the time where helicopters are fucking doing all this crazy shit. But in reality, like helicopters have very limited what would you call it, towing capacity. Like
Lift,
Yeah.
they
lift.
can't carry a lot. Like there's some helicopters, usually the helicopters you see carry things like there are helicopters that can carry like a fucking cargo container, right? But they're fucking
Yeah.
huge if you've ever seen them. They have 2 full rotor blades to create a ton of fucking lift. They're running off of massive fucking engines. Regular helicopters could not fucking like it could they could
Exactly.
start to pull up a car, and then the car would, exactly like what he did in that fucking preview, would fucking come down and pull both of them to the ground. So
I feel like whenever they were like, put a harpoon with a cable on it on this side of the helicopter, the guy would have been like, no, I'm not going to put that harpoon on with a
like,
cord
no,
on it.
why would I do that? That's stupid. I can't lift anything with this fucking helicopter. Why the fuck would I do that? Yeah. But no.
Yeah, two of the heaviest lifting helicopters that the U.S. has is the well, back when I worked on this H-53, they've changed it some since then, and the CH-47 Chinook.
All right, let's see. We got a super chat. Dom says, guess the movie. Hefe would say, I have a plethora. A what? A plethora. Well, yes, Hefe, what is a plethora? What is that from?
I
know
don't recognize that either.
I do not recognize what that's from.
I don't either.
500 Magnum says, do you think they'll ever remake Gremlins? I hope not, because I'll be honest, even though I grew up in the 80s, I never liked the Gremlins, the movie.
What?
I didn't like
I
it.
did.
I
They
liked
were
it.
all right. I didn't have a problem with it, but
I thought I heard something where they
I
were
liked
going to
the
remake
first
it
one.
or add another one.
an animated one would be all right. Like some kind of animated thing would be all right. Like if they did an Animatrix with Gremlins, I'd be.
Oh, everybody in the chat saying it's from Three Amigos. Oh, is that what it's from? It's from fucking Three Amigos? Okay.
Oh, it's been a long
Dude,
time.
I haven't watched. I actually have that movie on DVD, but I haven't watched that movie in a long fucking time. So I just remember we will ride off on the women and rape the horses. Like what? Go Shot dropped in one, says CH-53 and Sikorsky Sky Crane could easily lift a Hummer.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But yeah. Anyway, Fast and Furious is awesome, and I love it.
It was just CH-53 also made by Sikorsky.
I think the new Fast X movie is going to be one I'm going to have to go see in theaters.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to see that.
So, what other new movies are coming out?
We get the new Ant-Man Quantumania in a week, which I can't wait for.
Yeah,
What's
I
so
can't
good
wait
about
for
that
that one.
What's so good about it?
So I've got tickets to go see that on Saturday. So I'll go see it Saturday.
It's not a movie, but in March, season 3 of Mandalorian is coming out.
Yep. Yeah, we got
I'll take that.
3 more weeks for that.
Yeah,
Which Star Wars character will be the main lead in this season of Mandalorian?
Well, Mandalorian. He's the lead in every season of Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Except for the one where it was Boba Fett.
Well, no, that was the book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
that
that's
was the show.
Oh, all
It
right.
was a
Well,
Except
maybe
for
it's
those
an
couple of
episode.
episodes where it was
Although Mandalorian did show
season
up for a couple
2.5.
of episodes and take over the show for 2 episodes of Boba Fett's show,
Yeah, which was awesome.
which were the best 2 episodes.
Maybe I was thinking of that. Maybe there's something they messed around with.
But
Aren't we getting Kang and MODOK in Quantumania?
Kang and MODOK, I have a
does that
feeling
mean?
we might be getting Quasar. For anybody that knows that character,
What does that mean?
what? What does what mean?
So these are Marvel characters, I guess?
Yeah,
Never heard of him.
Kang is one of the biggest, most dangerous villains in all of Marvel Comics.
Kang, but different than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Kang.
That's Krang. This is
Oh,
Kang.
Yeah.
Just remove the R. It's otherwise it's spelled the same. Kang. Yeah. And basically he's from the far, far future, thousands of years in the future. He has access to time travel technology, and he's built an entire empire with his time travel technology by going back and changing things and taking over worlds and doing all this shit. And he's ridiculously powerful. And yeah,
that's what I'm gonna do.
well, yeah, who wouldn't at that point? Like it's, it sounds bad in a comic book, but in all honesty, everybody would do that. So
You just read every comic book that tells you every wrong thing to do and don't do any of those things.
don't do those things.
Simple.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he shows up in Quantumania. All the YouTube reviewers that I usually watch, well, the ones that have seen it so far, because they've already done the premiere, have said it's fucking awesome. So, I don't really pay attention to like Rotten Tomatoes or any of that shit. But I do watch a lot of YouTube reviewers.
The place that where I get paid to eat at Five Guys when I was talking about, that place, that company that does the secret shoppers, they do movie stuff also. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah,
So
I think you did.
Oh, okay.
You
You get paid
can, like,
to go. You can
rent the
change the. Well, no, you can change. You get paid to go stand there and count how many people go in a movie. You go talk to the movie theater people and tell them, "Hey, I'm here to count," and then they just let you count when people go in, and then you get paid to change the movie sign sometimes. I think it's kind of like something similar to what somebody else was doing at a different place, but this is at a movie theater. Anyway, and then I'm guessing you get to see movies for you because you're getting there hanging out with the movie theater.
You would think so.
Yeah, my wife used to be part of this program to where we could go. They would pay us to go watch movies, but we had to fill out like a questionnaire after the movie about what we saw in the trailers, a few different other things. But we got to watch the movie for free.
Yeah, I bet you this would be like, did people enjoy the movie? Did people leave during the movie? That's the kind of stuff they would ask at this one, I bet.
Yeah. Now I've been to like early screenings where you get pulled in and like they ask your opinion of the movie when the movie's over and stuff like that. So I've been to those before. The last one I went to was that Transformers Bumblebee movie.
Oh, that'd been a good one. That was a good.
Yeah,
movie.
it was cool because we saw it like a month and a half before the movie came out.
You told him you like it, or did you not like it?
Oh yeah, I told him I loved it. In fact, I think I wrote down something along the lines of that it was the best Transformers movie that had come out because it was the best one.
You should have been like, this transformed my opinion of Transformers movies.
Yeah. Well, it did actually. Well, no, not really, because the other movies still had a lot of.
You could have said this movie had more than meets the eye.
That's true. It did had more than meets the eye. But
I didn't have any big attachment to the Transformer cartoons and stuff from back in the 80s or whenever it was, because I was like a teenager and an adult then. So I actually do kind of like the movies. They're not great or perfect or anything, but I still find, enjoyment in them.
I like the first one and the third one. I think are good movies. The second one is horrible. It's by far the worst one. The third one is
second.
The second one is the one where they go.
The second one where he goes off to college. Yeah, that was.
Where he goes to Egypt, and that one Transformer has balls, and then two of the Transformers have, like, for some reason, gold teeth. Or talking very stereotypically black.
Yeah,
that one is awful. And then the fourth one is okay, and then the fifth one is just awful as well. Not as bad as the second, but it's like unwatchable. Like, I watched it once, and I'm like, I'm never watching this shit again.
Which one's that one?
Fuck, I don't even remember. I think it was called The Last Night, but I'll be honest with you, I can't fucking remember what the fuck happened in that movie. Like, it was all over the place. It was just like CGI vomit.
The Marky Mark.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the Marky Mark one.
Yeah, it was.
He's actually he did two of them, right?
Yeah, he was in 4 and 5, and 4 was okay. It wasn't great, but it's watchable, right? Like, I've watched that one probably a couple times. It's fine. Not one of the better ones, but it's fine. But 2 and 5 suck. And like, I will
they're definitely the bottom of the barrel of those movies.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new Beast Wars one, though.
That one I am. I loved Beast because, first of all, okay, so I was real big into Transformers as a kid. I have gone back and tried to watch that show as an adult. It does not hold up at all.
The cartoon, you mean?
The cartoon from the 80s, yeah. Now, the movie still does. I still enjoy the movie, the 1986 Transformers movie. I like that. But I loved Beast Wars. Beast Wars was awesome. And I watched that. I mean, by the time Beast Wars was on, I was already, in my early 20s. And I would watch the shit out of that show. It was really good. And it had good storytelling. The CGI by today's standards was, rudimentary. But, like, the stories were so good. You could tell it didn't feel like it was being made for kids. You know what I mean? Like, they were good, complex stories being told. It was just like good sci-fi. So my expectations for
You're talking about the cartoon Beast Wars now?
Yeah, the cartoon Beast Wars that came out in the 90s. It was one of the first CGI cartoons ever. It came out like 90.
You mean like 3-dimensional shit floating around?
Yeah, like actual CGI, yeah. And it was great. So my expectations for a Beast Wars movie are honestly pretty high because that show was great.
There's already been a Beast Wars Transformers. I thought there was robot dinosaurs in one of them.
Well, they brought in the Dinobots in what, 4, I think.
Yeah, it was just a couple of them in it.
Yeah.
It's not the same as what they're doing with the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like full blown Maximals versus Predacons.
They just need to take whatever the CGI dial and turn it down to about 8. I can't hardly tell where anything starts and ends in these things.
Dude, that was my problem with the 5th one. That last one that came out, the last night or whatever the fuck it was called. Like I couldn't tell you what the fuck was happening in that movie, especially when it gets to the 3rd act and like it all takes place on this. I think it was like an ancient Transformer ship or some shit. I don't even know. And everything was CGI and everything's fucking moving. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I think the good guys are winning, but I don't know. Like, it was really fucking bad. It was really fucking bad. So I did hear that Michael Bay's not, I think he's still producing because he's got the rights to produce anything Transformers, but he's not directing this movie, which gives me hope. Because the best Transformers movie is Bumblebee, which was not directed by Michael Bay, even though he was still listed as a producer. And that was great. That was a great movie. So I'm hoping this Beast Wars thing is not just Michael Bay fucking CGI vomit all over the screen and is actually good. I mean, obviously it's Transformers. You want fucking CGI, obviously. But like to the extent that those Transformers movies had gotten, so I hope it's good. I'm gonna go see it. I love Beast Wars. I'm gonna go watch the movie. I'm gonna go to the movies to see it. I hope it's good. Like, you know, but given the track record, I'm gonna be very cautiously optimistic. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna get my hopes.
Come out?
I think in May or something or June.
Is this going to be the kind of regular movie theater or the movie theater where you have food?
Oh, I guess my movie theater's kind of turned into that. You know, like it kind of like you can go and like at the movie theater where close to my house, it's still a regular movie theater inside, but like now they have pizza and beer and all this shit that you can take to your seats and stuff. I wish we had like a actual like, you know, restaurant style theater down here. But we don't have one because I would love to go to that where you can actually go and order dinner and sit.
I'm talking the kind where you're in a lazy boy and like you're in a big chair and they're grouped together.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We have a couple of those theaters up here where they actually have big ass comfortable recliners. Like Matt's saying, they give you a menu and you can order fucking dinner while you're sitting there watching the movie.
For me,
it sounds interesting, but then I've heard people say, yeah, you go there and you're not interested in smelling barbecue, and then you're smelling barbecue, or like somebody's eating fish and you don't really want to smell fish because you're just in a room with like a bunch of other people.
It depends because like most theaters only offer so many items. Like, okay, so when I lived in Dallas,
that makes sense. They're not making like anchovy. Yeah.
Okay. When I lived in Dallas, there was a movie theater. Well, there was 2, but it was called the Granada. I don't know, Corey, if you've ever been to the Granada, but there's a couple of them in Dallas.
No.
And you would go in, and you know, it was still a tiered theater, but there was comfortable seats, and everybody had a little table, you know, between each little set of 2 seats, you know, and you could order. It was like a basic menu, but you know, burgers. Excuse me, burgers, fries, pizza, nachos, stuff like that. You know, and you could get beer if you wanted, or you know, whatever soda, whatever the fuck you wanted to get, right, to drink. And it was like a basic menu. It was almost kind of like a bar menu, but it was good food. And it was, you know, comfortable chairs, and you had your little table there, and you could sit there and watch a movie, and it was nice. I liked it, but we don't have anything like that down here. So
there should be dinner Uber or movie Uber where you like order your stuff and they just bring it, they run it over your
seats. That'd be cool. I bet you somebody does that. I bet you they do. Let's see. Out there in the chat, Foul says, will Bruce Jenner be the next Transformer? Probably not. probably not. Ghost Shadow says, got to screen movies when they played it to make sure that they had the sections of the film assembled in proper order before showing it to the public theater. That's kind of cool. I had friends that used to work at the movies that would see movies all the time. Like they got to see everything.
Yeah, they probably hated movies though, right? After a while.
Oh no! Like this one guy I knew, he was a couple years older than me, and I remember when he got a job at fucking. Remember back when there used to be different movie theaters, and
oh yeah,
and he worked at UA, and like he would bring us in. He's like, if you want to see a movie, just let me know, and we would go in, and they actually had like an area up at the top, and they would sit there and watch movies. They'd watch the movie because it's like
in the theater, you mean, or like up where the movie projector is?
Up where the movie projector was, but they had a big area that you could see out of. It wasn't like a little fucking window, right? Like it's and they had like a row.
Could watch the movie.
Yeah, and they had a row of 3 seats there in front of that big cutout area, and it was right next to the projector.
Was there glass there, or you could wing popcorn down on people?
Oh, you could wing popcorn down there on people if you wanted to.
Well, that'd be awesome.
And they would sit up there, and there was 3 seats, and so 3 people could sit up there and watch a movie, and that's what they would do. And if we wanted to see a movie, as long as there wasn't like we couldn't go like on opening weekend or anything like that, because then all the people there wanted to sit up there and watch the movie. But like after the Monday a movie came out, be like, all right, come up here. My shift is at whatever time, and we'd go up there, and we'd go in and sit up there, It's like just sit up there with him and like fucking sit there and watch the movie for free. That's pretty cool. Pedro out in the chat says, I only watched because of Megan Fox. Oh, the Transformers movies? Yeah. Kumar says Terminator movies be better. I mean, Terminator movies. Well, okay. So let's break this down. First Terminator, fucking awesome. Classic. Second Terminator movie, fucking awesome. Classic. Third Terminator movie sucks. Then you get into Terminator Salvation, which I really like. It's not as good as the first 2, but after those 2, I think it's the next best Terminator movie. Then there was Genesis, Terminator Genesis, I think is what it's called. The weird timey-wimey one where they went back in time and somebody tried to kill Sarah Connor when she was a kid, but I don't know, a Terminator showed up to save her, and then at some point in the future, John Connor gets turned into a robot by Skynet, and then he goes back in time, and then they jump forward 20 years in time. And it was a whole like that movie just tried to do too much.
Yeah, exactly.
It tried to do too much in one fucking movie, man. There was time travel all over the fucking place, and the story was jumping all over. And like, I don't think it was a bad story, but I think that should have been almost like a trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to pack everything in one fucking movie. And it was just too much. It was too much. And then the last one that came out, Dark Fate, was basically just the first Terminator all over again. And
but it was more woke.
Huh?
But it was more woke.
Yeah, it was just this weird fucking it was, I don't know. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie, and I thought him being fucking Carl was great. I did like the storyline that he happened to be the fucking Terminator that killed John Connor when he was young. I thought that was a cool thing to add to the story. But that was really it. Like, it was good to see Arnold Schwarzenegger back. I liked his character of Carl the Terminator. And I liked seeing Sarah Connor come back. That was good. I like Linda Hamilton, But like, that was really the only good parts of the movie, and it wasn't even parts of the movie. It was just those characters were good. It was good to see Sarah Connor back, and I liked Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and that was it. Other than that, it was almost a complete rehash of the first Terminator movie with just modern special effects, and that was it. Like, there wasn't really much to it. Like, there was nothing really new about the movie.
Do you accept Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Oh, I do. I think it's one of the best things Terminator, period. Sarah Connor Chronicles was awesome. I loved that show. I was very pissed off when it got canceled. So I really, really liked that show.
So you were putting Terminator up against Transformers.
Uh-huh.
You make this a poll. You should make it a YouTube poll.
Now, I mean, I don't think anybody would pick Transformers over Terminator. Even if
all the cartoons and everything.
Even if you say there's only 2 good Terminator movies, those 2 good Terminator movies are still better than everything that Transformers has put out. Even as much as I like Bumblebee and think it's a fantastic movie, it's not better than either of the first 2 Terminator movies.
But if you include all the toys and all the cultural significance that they've brought to the world, which one has more influence on culture? Which one's a bigger entity?
Transformers definitely has more influence on culture, I think.
Oh, really?
Because,
I would still say Terminator.
No,
Terminator
I think
gives robots. I mean,
there are aspects of Terminator that have, I think, influenced culture, but most of the aspects of Terminator that have influenced culture were not original. I mean, Terminator, like, to be honest, Terminator
references a whole bunch of other stuff.
Terminator's not an original movie. I mean, they put some themes together in an original way. You know, AI taking over. Okay, Westworld. You know what I mean? Time travel. That's been done 100 times before the first Terminator movie came out. You know, apocalyptic future, been done to death by the time the first. Like, there was nothing original about that movie. What was original about it was the way those different things that we'd seen before were put together. So
and they did it expertly with the whole weaving the time travel in and everything. They just did it in such a cool way.
I wouldn't say that Terminator itself influenced culture as much as the idea of fucking transforming robots and what that did for children of the 80s and 90s, and how that has spawned way more hours of content than Terminator ever has. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of movies and television shows, not to mention
video games.
Billions of dollars worth of toys that have been purchased. You know, like, yeah, I would definitely say Transformers had a much bigger cultural impact.
Yeah, I think so too. Is there video games on either side?
There are Transformers video games. There are Terminator video games too, but there are way more Transformer video games. Hello? Hello? Oh, that wasn't me. Anyway. Let's see where we at out there in the comments. Bud says, did you use Jell-O on your wife last night like you said? No. Pudding. Misty says, last time I went to the movies, I saw Titanic. Jesus Christ. That was 30 years ago. Holy hell.
I can't remember the last movie, but it had to be something with spaceships or something, because I don't go to movies unless there's a spaceship or something in it.
Bo says Connor last night in Terminator, and also Roseanne's family was in Terminator. What? I don't even know what that means, dude. White D says something that I think not enough people have the balls to say. Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1. And that's true. That's a true fact right there. Terminator 2 is the better of those 2 movies. As much as I love the first Terminator, it's a fucking amazing movie. Terminator 2 was better.
It had more stuff in it.
Better story, better special effects, better soundtrack. Like, literally everything about that movie was better than the first one. It's the way a sequel should be. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometime. We got it with Empire Strikes Back. We got it with
Mad Max and Road Warrior. Same thing with Mad Max.
Yeah,
and Road
Mad Max
Warrior.
and
The
Road
first
Warrior.
one is real and raw. You know what it also happened with? What's the first one with? And then it turned into Mariachi. Is Mariachi the first one? And then it turned into Dusk Till Dawn or something.
Fuck, why am I blanking on the name of the movie?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Because it was the beginning of all of his movies, though.
Yeah, so Mariachi was the first one.
When the first one, they do it kind of raw, and then that's what they really want to do. And then they get all their money, and then the people with the money go, oh, no, you got to make it blah, blah, blah. And then it gets, I hear what you're saying, but I still like the first one because it's more raw.
Yeah. Desperado. Thank you, Dom, out there in the chat. Desperado.
Oh, don't read the chat. We're not supposed to be reading that.
What about this?
But yes, there you go. Desperado or El Mariachi. Yeah.
El Mariachi.
Desperado,
Upon a Time
the best
in-
one. And then let me guess.
Because there's a lot of people. I think
Once Upon a Time in
Mariachi.
Mexico.
Yep.
No, other than that, I've never heard of the movies.
No, never heard of him. Another one that did it was G-Webs. I don't think you would agree with this, but I do.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, Wrath of Khan,
Everybody
Road
likes
Warrior,
Empire.
stuff like that. Terminator 2. But oh yeah, all I do is overpenetrate says Dark Knight. Yeah, Dark Knight was better than Batman Begins. So that's another one. But also I would say Captain America Winter Soldier. The second one is better than the first one. I love the first one. I love the World War II aspect of the first one. It's a fucking fantastic movie. But Winter Soldier is a better fucking movie. So
I don't really have that much of a preference on Captain America.
I thought you really liked that first one because we've talked about that before.
I mean, I think I like the first one, but I don't know. I think my thing was I haven't seen the second one enough. You're talking about the second one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't know if I've seen them well enough. Or for me, I've seen them, but they bleed together for me. I just can't keep track of the Captain America storyline, I guess.
Captain America Winter Soldier is one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen.
My favorite part of Captain America stuff is Agent Peggy Carter. Is her name?
I think that's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. But we got another super chat from Josh T. Says, this may be hard for some of you to take, but Lord of the Rings is better than Terminator and Transformers. Yeah, I would actually agree with you. It's not hard for me to take at all. I mean, while
better, bigger, more expensive.
Well, no, because I mean, honestly, you get 6 solid movies, and I will say the second Hobbit movie is by far the weakest of all 6 of those movies, but that still leaves 5 really, really fucking good movies, and we don't have 5 really, really fucking good.
And stack up all the hours of movies, and I bet you Lord of the Rings is longer.
Well, it's longer, but it's also, I mean, honestly, if it's like, oh, you can either choose to have, here's the 6 Terminator, is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Here's 6 Terminator movies, or here's the 6 Lord of the Ring movies. And you can only watch one for the rest of your life. I'm picking the Lord of the Rings movies.
Nobody's picking Terminators. They're not good. Yeah. They just exist.
So, I mean, I'm getting more entertainment.
But I don't like Lord of the Rings, but I'll acknowledge that they're super well-made movies. I mean, they're expertly made artwork.
I love the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, although Fellowship of the Ring is slow for me. It's still really good. And then the Hobbit movies, I think the first one and the third one are great. The second one, honestly, doesn't even need to exist. They could have made that just a fucking 2-movie thing, but whatever. Either way, it's still, yeah. So I agree, Josh. I agree.
And we talking about
they're making Captain Mexico. Oh, good. I'm glad they should. Yep, you got your Mad Max movies. I've got the Mad Max Blu-ray set that I picked up a while back after Mad Max Fury Road came out. They dropped a Blu-ray set that I bought. I need to watch those. I haven't watched those in a long time. But
I just recently watched them, and
they're great, man. I love them.
And Road Warrior is definitely my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, Road Warrior is the best one.
I still like Mad Max a lot, but
it's good, but Road Warrior is so much better.
It is better, but it's still
it's like and Beyond Thunderdome, it's okay.
I don't like that one at all.
I like Beyond Thunderdome, but I completely understand why a lot of people don't. No. I think I like Beyond Thunderdome because that was the first Mad Max movie I ever got to see at the movies.
Yes, that was your movie.
That movie came out when I was old enough to like go to the movies to see it. You know, and so
and it was popular. I mean, everybody loved that movie when it came out.
Yeah,
at the time, yeah.
And I really like Fury Road. So
Fury Road was great. Rolling out there in the chat says, "Have you talked about The Last of Us yet? The latest episode is available." Yeah, me and my wife watched that last night, and it was really good. Here's what I'm noticing from the show: the first episode was really good. The second episode, not much happened. Third episode, really good. fourth episode, not much happened. Then last night's episode, the fifth episode, really good. So I'm expecting next episode, not much is going to happen. That's kind of the pattern they're building here with this show. I still like it. I mean, 3 out of 5 episodes are really fucking good. 2 are just not bad. It's just like not much happens in those episodes, those 2 episodes. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's filler. It's just they're slower episodes where not much is going on in those episodes. And so I'm just kind of like, okay. So it's kind of up and down from episode to episode as far as like what all's going on. But dude, last night in the episode when all the fucking zombies showed up, holy shit, that was awesome. Like, it was fucking great. That was a great scene. It lasted for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hadn't seen it, but at one point, I'm calling them zombies. I don't know what they're fucking called in the show. I don't remember. I know they have a name and it's not zombies, but they're fungus zombies is essentially what they are. And like, when they fucking show up about halfway through the episode, it's fucking awesome, man. It is great. So, yeah, I really
forgot.
Like that.
And Walking Dead, I forgot about that. But when you mentioned that in Walking Dead, don't they not know what zombies are in that universe?
Yeah.
So then
they don't use the name zombies because it's in a universe where zombies were
never had those movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's still like that. Like all these episodes later, or all these seasons later. It's
Yeah,
still
they've never once in the show or in the comic book did they ever use the word zombie.
No.
Okay.
So
it's always walkers or roamers or riders or
they always have some other name for them.
or
And each group that they run across like calls them something else,
yeah,
because there's no word for it. So, but yeah, Last of Us was awesome. It was a great episode. I was glad we got it last night. I wish we'd always get it on Friday nights, honestly, because I'd rather watch it on Friday nights than Sunday night. Like Sunday nights, man, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up in the morning, go to work and shit. But like Friday nights, I'm in a great fucking mood because it's the weekend. I'm like, let's watch some shit. I'd much rather have it come on. I mean, I know it's going to go back to Sunday because HBO always does stuff on Sundays, and the only reason they dropped it on Friday was because of the Super Bowl, so they dropped it 2 days early. But it was I'd much rather watch it on Fridays. The other thing that came out this week that came
When's
back
the Super Bowl
on Sunday
tomorrow.
That's Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Will stores be empty tomorrow, or will they be full tomorrow?
They'll be full right up until about 5 Central. That's when pregame starts. So, yeah. But the other thing that came out this week, or came back, it's been off for about a month, was 1923. Anybody else watching 1923 other than me?
Is that a movie about the year 1923?
It's a TV show. It's a spinoff of Yellowstone.
I was going to say, but I haven't watched Yellowstone either, so yeah.
Okay. Well, you should because it's the best show on television. But 1923 came back after their little 1-month hiatus and was awesome. I love this show, man. It's really good. I really like the first
story of
show.
It's the story of that valley before they all moved there.
It's the story of that family. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but the first spinoff show they had was 1883, and it was really good. But even we're only like 5 episodes into 1923, which is now the next spinoff. And it's already better than 1883. Like, I like it better. It doesn't hurt that it's got Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford in it as like the 2 main characters. Like,
if I was alive in 1923, if I was alive in 1923, I'd have a 1918 and I'd be shooting it full auto constantly.
Well, maybe. But yeah, it came back and it's great, and everybody should be watching it because it's awesome, dude. Everything that Taylor Sheridan puts out, people should watch, because I've not seen anything that this dude has created that hasn't been really, really good. Whether it's his movies, like, and now I'm blanking on the movies. What's the movie where
the Super Bowl is in Arizona? Sorry,
I have no idea where it's at, honestly.
It's not in Tucson. Otherwise, I'd probably know about it.
What's the movie about the 2 brothers that go around robbing banks? to try and save the farm. Hell or High Water. He wrote Hell or High Water.
Oh yeah.
It's a modern movie. Is that good?
Yeah, it's really good. He wrote what's the one with Jeremy Renner where he's going around carrying a 45-70?
Oh yeah. Where he shoots a wolf or some shit.
I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, like this dude writes amazing movies. He writes amazing shows, whether it's, obviously Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King. Like Wind River. Thank you, Roland Tripp. Wind River is the movie I'm thinking of. Like this dude just writes great shit.
I've been to Wind River for what it's worth.
Like, I don't know. Like, I've never seen anything he's done that has not been good. Everything's been fucking great. Everything he's done has been great. So I'm like, from now on, just if he comes out with something new, whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever, I'm going to fucking watch it. And I'm willing to bet it's going to be fucking good. Like, and he has a way of making movies. First of all, and this may be because he's from Texas. I don't know. They're not woke at all. But they're also not pushing any political agenda. Like there's a whole theme going on in Yellowstone right now about, John becoming governor of Montana and all this shit. And like, they never even mention political parties. They don't mention social issues. The closest they get politically is, when the little vegan girl shows up at the ranch to protest, and then it's him fucking like explaining how a ranch works, and and it's not even political. He's just
it's called meat-splaining. Some of us don't like it.
Yeah, he's meat-splaining to her, but no, he's explaining how a ranch works and what goes into raising cattle and what goes, you know what I mean? And because she shows up and she's just bitching about everything. The fact that they're riding horses, the fact that they have a cattle ranch, the fact that this and that and whatever else. She's like a typical what we would expect, like a little, left-wing, vegan, whiny, whatever, right? And it never gets into politics. You never hear the word Democrat or Republican in the entire fucking show. They don't talk about social issues or any of that shit. It's just well done. The one word I would use to describe all the stuff that Taylor Sheridan has done is Americana. Like, and you watch this stuff, and even when you're watching when bad shit happened, like if you look at Wind River, right? It's a story about some murders and shit, bad shit that went down. Or you're watching Hell or High Water, which is about two brothers trying to save this farm and this land, that's been in their family forever and all this stuff, and they're robbing banks to do it. But it still just feels like Americana. You know what I mean? Like it still kind of makes you proud to be an American. Like especially Yellowstone certainly does. But like it's just really, really good. It's just really good stories. Really,
do you like it better?
Fucking awesome characters.
Do you like it better than when Dallas was on?
I never fucking watched Dallas. If you gotta remember when Dallas was on, I was a little kid. Like I know
I was too. I know, but I'm just saying Dallas was like the #1 show at the time. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was. But I was too young to get into Dallas, even though I was born and raised in Dallas.
Dallas was all like, from what I remember, like super dramatic. Like somebody be sleeping with somebody, and then somebody get killed, and then somebody take over somebody's business, and then somebody sleep with somebody.
It was a
primetime soap opera.
But is this Yellowstone that one? I've only seen like a few episodes of it.
No, that's not what Yellowstone is.
Yeah, it's more like somebody was saying the Sopranos of today.
I mean, there's an aspect of it kind of like that.
The part I saw, they were like, this guy doesn't know how to be a good ranch hand. Take him up to the railroad crossing or whatever, and then they take him up to that cliff and off him
to the train station.
Well, I mean that does happen, but not because somebody wasn't a good ranch hand. You know what I mean? Like somebody
did the horses backwards, kill him.
Yeah, it's because like somebody did something serious and fucked up, and they're just like, well, fucking, Montana justice. It's shit like that. You know what I mean?
You're going to the Montana Railroad, buddy. Like, oh, all right, thanks for the ride. Yeah, sure. You ain't gonna need luggage.
We got a super chat from Dom out there in the chat. Y'all ever grow up with the Fall Guy? Yes. I watched the shit out of Fall Guy as a kid. I loved that show.
Well, I like Chevy trucks.
I mean, fuck yeah, that truck was fucking awesome.
Fall Guy's truck versus who were them two dudes with the Dodge truck all the time? The one brother had a Dodge truck. I'll take the Fall Guy's truck any day.
Oh yeah, the Fall Guy's truck is one of my favorite vehicles from 80s television.
Which one was Fall Guy?
Fall Guy was the
Come
one
on, man.
with Blue Majors, and remember he was a stunt man who had a side hustle being a bounty hunter. And so every episode you would get like some of his doing stunts on a movie set, and then it would be him and his crew, and they would go out.
Don't make me fall out a window into some hay to show you what I'm talking about.
It sounds familiar.
Dude, it was a fantastic.
The only thing that'll save us if somebody can jump off this water tower into that lake.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I'm a stunt man. I know exactly how to do just that. It was that type of shit. Yeah. But it was fucking awesome. I love Fall Guy.
Didn't you have one of those early 80s square body Chevys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
great.
It
was the two-tone brown and tan, and then it had his logo on the hood, the logo of his Fall Guy stunt studios or whatever the fuck it was in the show.
He was a professional stunt guy.
Fucking roll bar on the back of the truck. It was a fucking phenomenal.
He was like Evel Knievel, except the professional version.
Would you rather have that vehicle or the vehicle that Chuck Norris had in Lone Wolf McQuade?
Lone Wolf McQuade any day. That's the best vehicle ever. It can blow itself out of being buried in Texas dirt.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a great movie if y'all haven't seen it.
Clutchable supercharger under the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, magically.
This is the truck. This is the truck from Fall Guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is
Now show the one. What was the show that? What was that other show with them brothers and the one had a truck?
Like, yeah, this is one of the toys of it that came out in the 80s. You could buy the Tonka truck.
That's
a stomper of the Fall Guy truck would have been a great idea. No, but they should have made that.
But it had his fucking logo on the front and everything.
They should have had a Tonka a stomper of the Fall Guy truck and then of the truck from Back to the Future.
Oh, fucking fantastic. I wish I had that truck today. God
okay,
damn.
so this truck versus the truck from Back to the Future, which would you take?
That truck, Fall Guys truck. Back to the Future truck was nice, but I like this one better. Fall Guys.
It's more practical. You could park the Back to the Future truck easier.
Wasn't that one just like a little S10?
Simon and Simon. Thanks. Simon and Simon was the other show.
Back to the Future, the Toyota.
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this fucking show.
That's a throwback and a half. Shit.
It's a great fucking show. Simon and Simon was actually another show I loved as a kid.
I only watched Simon and Simon because it was between other shows or whatever. I didn't look forward to it as much.
I liked it. I've watched it as an adult and I still like it.
It was more like mystery because it wasn't as much. Well, I guess it was action, car chasing.
No, they were private detectives. You know, they get hired to go do shit.
In this era, I was playing Matchbox in front of the TV. So whenever these shows would be on, I'd be playing Matchbox of whatever the race, whatever the chases were and shit. This was right after Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe a couple of seasons after Dukes of Hazzard when the car chases had matured a bit and they were still willing to destroy like dozens of cop cars in every show.
Yep.
Wearing just big old Impalas and
I wonder
stuff.
how many of these trucks they destroyed because they were always
that's a good point.
All the shit.
And how many of those undercarriages would have been wailed on?
Oh yeah.
They probably destroyed just as many as they did the Dukes of Hazzard car, the Charger.
There's a YouTube channel I found where they have a Dukes of Hazzard junkyard sort of where it's just like 3 or 4 of each of the cars some guy has in his yard, and then some guy went in there and bought a couple off of them. But yeah, they had like half a dozen of each of the cars in Dukes of Hazzard because they just kept breaking them constantly.
Yeah.
Kind of like that episode of Supernatural where they go into like the real world.
Oh yeah.
And they see all the wrecked cars of all the wrecked babies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, such a great show.
I wonder if you can stream that anywhere.
It must be. Somebody makes money off of it still. Is he gone? Is he passed away?
Who? Lee Majors?
Yeah.
Oh, Lee Majors is still around, I think.
Okay.
I think he's still alive. Yeah.
I mean, he's still a $6 million man and other stuff.
Yeah. Is Lee Majors alive? Still alive. Yes, he's still alive. Yeah, because he played
stronger and
he played
better,
Bruce Campbell's
faster.
dad on Ash versus Evil Dead, that show that came out a few years ago. He played
Did he?
Ash's dad. Yeah. I don't think he showed up until the last season. Was it third season? Because I think it had 3 seasons. He showed up in the last season after Ash moves back to Michigan and his dad's there. And then, of course, more Deadite shit goes down in Michigan after that. So, but yeah, it was Lee Majors played Ash's dad.
Yeah, I have to finish the Ash TV show. I didn't get to finish it all.
Oh, it's great. I love that show. That show was awesome.
Well, anything with Bruce Campbell in it's pretty damn good. Even when he played on Burn Notice.
Oh, he was the best part of Burn Notice.
Exactly.
He was the best character on the show. It was great.
Yeah, he was really the only reason to watch that show, in my opinion.
Yeah, me and my wife loved that show. Let's see. What else? Oh, I rewatched Gamer this week.
Gamer? Oh, yeah, that's a great movie.
It showed up on Netflix. I guess they just got it this week. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my God, I haven't watched this in so long. Put it on. Oh, it's still such a great movie.
It is.
It's such a good fucking movie.
And honestly, could you foresee something like that taking place in like today's day and age?
I mean, yeah. I could
Because with all
definitely
the shit that they're talking about doing, you know, especially with the mRNA and other shit that they're talking about doing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to remember this one. Is that the one where some guy is got to live out prison and then they take over his body and use him like a video game?
Yeah,
Gerard Butler.
Yep.
Is that a modern day Demolition Man or a modern day one of those movies?
You mean like Running Man or something?
Maybe
Kind
it's
of.
Running Man. Running Man, I think, where
It's
it's
like it's in the
a city
future.
and he's running around.
Yeah, it's in the future, and the most popular game in the world is where criminals get kind of controlled by gamers, and they fight, but for real. And if you can survive 30 rounds, you get set free and shit like that. And you know, it focuses on this one dude who's like the best at it. You know, this dude named Cable. And he's the best at it, and the kid that controls him is the best. And, you know, they're like the most famous people in the world. But, like, there's a whole conspiracy. And, like, the reason he's in prison in the first place is because he knows shit he shouldn't know. And,
Yeah.
so, you know, shit's...
It's got Dexter Morgan in it, too.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in the movie.
Mm-hmm. It's like that... what was that movie Jason Statham was in? They ended up doing, like, 4, 5, 6 of them. Where he drove the car as Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Death Race.
What was it?
Death Race.
Death
Race.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Death Wish, and I knew that wasn't right.
Have you ever seen the original Death Race?
Yes.
No.
With David Carradine.
Yeah, David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone's in it.
Yeah, very young Sylvester Stallone.
Very young Sylvester Stallone, like before anybody knew who the fuck he was.
So you're saying there's a new version of that they've made multiple versions, multiple episodes.
I watched the first one with Jason Statham. Then they started doing a bunch of sequels that didn't have Jason Statham in them. I think I watched the second one. I didn't watch anything after that.
Wasn't the second one more of like a prequel to the first one?
I honestly don't remember.
I think it was.
But I remember the one with Jason Statham was really good. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah,
then
definitely.
you know, I grew up on the original one. Like, it was one of those movies I watched a lot as a kid because as a kid, I knew who David Carradine was because I watched Kung Fu.
Yep.
And obviously I knew who Sylvester Stallone was, and it was sci-fi, futuristic, post-apocalyptic kind of thing. And it was I loved that original, what was it, 75, 76 movie, I think.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Something like that. I loved that movie as a kid.
Yeah,
but
these movies.
Kung Fu was really good too. I miss that show. I love that show.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, see, I think I've seen
There's
I've
all-
obviously seen Death Race, and I've seen part 2. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
What was that new one they just came out with where it was like further into the future? It's like 2054 or some shit like
That
that.
one. It is wait, no, wrong one. Beyond Anarchy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just kind of got
Yeah, it's very
more
weird.
more stupid after 2, more ridiculous and cheesy.
Oh, Lead Lace in the chat's talking about a show that you and me used to talk about all the time, G-Webs. When we first started doing the Monday Night Geek Chat, one of the
Diddley?
shows that was on at the time that we both, I think, liked quite a bit, Falling Skies. Remember? People fighting aliens with
I
AKs?
love Falling Skies.
I went back maybe last year sometime, I think, and I watched a chunk of Falling Skies, and I still dig it. It is still a pretty cool version of a
It was
show.
a really good show.
What was that guy's name? What, Noah Riley or something like that?
It did get dumb, but yeah, it was good.
I think the last season where it started getting more into like the
When they
alien.
found like a mall underground, I was like, man, I must have really been reaching to still like it. But the premise was still such a unique premise.
It was still fighting aliens with AKs. So it was still
Yeah, and there was so many AKs in it. I liked it. Yeah.
To me, they rushed the last season.
They probably did. They probably knew they were
I felt
getting
like it was rushed.
canceled. They probably knew they were going to get canceled. Probably had planned to have more seasons because that happens to a lot of shows. And then so they like compact the story to fit in one season right there at the end. So it definitely ended weak. But the first few seasons were really good. I liked it because it had everything. We had the post-apocalyptic, the prepper stuff, AKs, aliens. Like it had a lot of cool stuff that I already like going for it. So it was all kind of like mixed up, and there was a lot of cool shit in there.
Moon Blood Good is fucking hot.
Oh yeah, it was super hot, super woke for being whatever years it was. It wasn't obligatory back then to be woke. They just went ahead and made it real woke, I thought.
They did?
I don't remember that.
Not woke like in an annoying way. I'm just saying there was a lot of chicks that were like good characters, like doing stuff. It was like
see, I don't consider that woke.
Yeah, I don't consider that woke
either.
Like, I mean, this is what I hate about the whole woke thing nowadays. Where people are going to sit there and fucking complain and shit and all this. It's like, bitch, I have been watching Ripley and Sarah Connor and Princess Leia and Buffy the Vampire Slayer since I was a little fucking kid, and you're going to sit there and lecture me about whether or not, women don't there's no good women characters, and we have to make her. Shut the fuck up, because there's been tons of them for 40 fucking years that have been kicking ass and doing great fucking things in television and in movies, and now you want to fucking act all woke bullshit about it? Like, that's not, you put a good female character in something, that's not woke. And now they're doing it just to fucking force shit into other shit when it don't fit, and writing shitty characters. You know what I mean? Like, I remember
say that it had strong female characters before it was a requirement, and they put them in everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm tired of them being like, hey, let's turn girls into guys, right? Like, let's have this girl who just like kicks ass and can like world kick everything and beats up like 250-pound dudes like they're rag dolls. Like, dude, chicks have like all kinds of power. They have all kinds of power that is not physical beating people up. And it'd be nice to have some occasional like representation of that. Like, let's have some actual female characters who use their femininity to get their way, and you know what I'm saying?
If they're gonna do it, make it make sense. Like with Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, made sense. She had spent 15, 16 fucking years training to be a fucking badass, right?
With a reason. With a
reason. And she had the skills that she had learned. She had the fucking equipment to do the job. Like, there was a reason for it. You know what I mean? With Ripley, right? With Ripley and Aliens. In the first Alien movie, She's just like the fucking what's she the she's not the captain, but whatever she, you know what I mean? Like she's just running the whole time. Didn't really kick, nobody kicked ass in the first movie, to be honest. They were all just running for their fucking lives. But in the second movie, like she's prepared. She's got the appropriate equipment. They show scenes of her learning from the Marines and how to operate the gun. She's got balls. She's trying to save the little girl. Like she kicks ass because she's in that situation when nobody else has dealt with it before, and she gets to be the fucking hero. And it made sense and it fucking worked. You know? Like I watched fucking 9 seasons of Buffy kick vampire ass. And it wasn't woke. It didn't feel forced. It was just cool stories because I like that character. I like the idea of this fucking Slayer getting magically imbued specifically for the reason to fight fucking demons and vampires. It was a cool comic book style story and it fucking worked.
Well, I mean, that's like half of Black Widow's power. Isn't that she's like able to like, whirl kick and, do all the things, and she's got electrical shock thing. She's hot and she uses that shit to get advantage over people. And like they like just skip over that, and that's fine. I mean, for the movies that she's in or whatever, and like Avengers, whatever movie.
But no, if you watch when she first shows up in Iron Man 2, that's exactly what she is.
Exactly.
That is exactly how it is. She is, nobody thinks twice about her because they're just too busy staring at her. And then she like walks, like there was multiple scenes in that movie where she just like sexily walks up to somebody and they're just like, and then she beats the shit out of him because they don't know what to fucking expect.
Yep.
You know?
You know what other movie has a super hot female lead that's also super strong, doesn't get enough credit? Jodie Foster in Contact.
Oh, God.
God damn it. That fucking movie. Fucking hate that movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, Contact wasn't that great in my opinion either.
Yeah, it's not that good at all.
I remember seeing that in the theater and being all excited to see what the aliens look like.
Yeah.
And then you never get to see what the aliens look like.
Yeah.
They look like white light and they look like the future in your imagination.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't it Jennifer Lawrence here recent? Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I'm done.
Wasn't it Jennifer Lawrence recently came out and made a statement that until her in Hunger Games, there was no
female
strong female lead.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah, she said that shit, and you're just like,
and instantly pretty much had to backtrack on it because
what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
because Sigourney Weaver and Linda Hamilton is like, fucking excuse me, and Angelina Jolie, it's like, what the fuck?
So how are you penises doing tonight?
Hard as ever.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, brother?
Good. I see you brought the pug with you there. Or I guess you still have the pug.
Yep.
What's his name? Her name?
This is a dude, and this is named Bit.
Speaking of penis,
I like how you showed us his penis to verify that he's a dude.
I don't want any people saying anything weird in front of him. He's a baby.
Yeah, nothing inappropriate. He's a child. Be nice.
When I came back from SHOT Show, he had the kennel cough, so he had that for like 2 weeks. So he's off it. He's been off it now for a week, but I think he can, he's still remembering being all kind of sore and stuffed up. So I think he's just enjoying being healthy again, happy.
Yeah, and pugs are pretty cool dogs.
Oh man, I never knew anybody with a pug. I never had any pugs ever. Found this dog walking down the road, in November. I can totally understand why people like these dogs. They are super cool dogs. I definitely understand why people like them.
But don't pugs have an inherently bad breathing problem?
Nah. I grew up with Boston Terriers and stuff, so I understand dogs that have a smushed up face. But
yeah.
I mean, he snores when he's sleeping, but he's not making noises now.
Dude, any purebred dog is going to have some sort of health problem or another for the most part.
Yeah. Like I got a dachshund and they have bad back problems and hip problems.
One of the problems I find is he's so adorable. It's hard to walk past him without going, "Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Well, Honda, you're here, so we can lead into my final topic of the evening. We're going back to the 80s. We're going back to toys. I want to talk a little bit about what I feel like is one of the two greatest toy lines of the entire 80s and of my
Voltron?
childhood. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Hero on the House Show, Turd Power.
This was like I've talked about this before because I was a little bit older and stuff like that when that came out. I had a little more money, things like that, allowance and shit like that. It was probably the one toy line that I had more of than anything else I had ever had. More than I ever had a Star Wars, more than I ever had a G.I. Joe, Transformers, any of that shit. I had like almost literally everything between like 1988 and 1992 that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Was that because of your age or because you like those toys better than Star Wars figures?
Both, I think. I was a little bit older, like I said, so I was able to like get money to spend on them and do that type of shit. But also because I was obsessed, like most kids my age were, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Were you playing with them or collecting them at that point already?
Oh, I mean, well, I was still young. I mean, 88, you know what I mean? I was only 11 years old when the show
Okay,
came
so you're
out.
still playing with them too then.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So like it was like, and I guess like I said, I mean, it was the one toy line as a kid that I had that I look back and I think that was probably my favorite toy line as a kid. You know what I mean? I was like, the toys were awesome. I watched the cartoon every fucking day coming home after school. I was fucking obsessed. And then of course in 1990 the movie comes out and that just puts the hype up 10 times more than it was.
It was a really good movie too.
It was a great. It's one of my favorite superhero movies, or comic book movies, I should say, ever. I still love that movie to this day.
How old were you guys when that movie came out?
1990, I was 13.
In 90, I was what, 5 or 6?
Yeah, I think it
Let's see.
20 or
1990,
something.
I turned 25 that year.
I think I was 9 years old that year. And my mom had some business meeting or some shit she had to do. And she took me and my 2 friends to the movie theater and dropped us off at like 9 in the morning and picked us up at like 7 at night. We watched it 3 times in a row. We paid for it once and just like stayed in the theater and no one said shit.
Just to watch
Back
it.
in that era, we would get like on a bus in the morning or whatever, go to the mall and do that kind of stuff, and then just get on a bus and come home. So we didn't have to. Nobody even cared where we were. So yeah, we would remember those kind of.
Yeah, we would
things,
just
'cause
hop
they
on
didn't care.
our bikes in the morning and go.
Once you
See,
were
that's
in the
one thing
movie
that the
theater
kids
back
these
then, they
days-
didn't care. They were like, okay, you already paid, so as long as you're not causing a ruckus, they don't care if you just sit there and watch 3 movies.
Yeah.
The kids these days will never understand the mall and how central it was to meeting girls and getting like cool stuff and cool clothes and like knowing what to do. You know what I mean? Like everything revolved around the mall.
The arcade.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly, dude.
Yep.
Everything was there that was cool, and there was like the hottest chicks that you ever saw in your entire life. Like all that stuff. We're at the
Well,
mall.
there was more than one mall, usually, depending where you lived, too. Like, you'd have the big mall, the little mall, the other mall, the mall that's way over there, right?
See, where I grew up, we had Townies
Oh,
Mall.
they just built the new mall. We got to go check out the new
Yeah.
mall.
We had Townies Mall, which to this day is still the best mall I had ever been in. That was the one closest to us. It was
Still there?
huge. Yeah, it's still there.
Yep.
And
I
I was a huge fucking mall rat. Like when that movie came out, I was like, holy shit, that's me. Because that's what me and my friends would do. We would go to the mall and we could easily fucking be at the mall for 10 hours, hang out all day. We had friends that worked at different shops around the mall. There was food there. There was, you'd go buy some clothes. We used to go, because this was the 90s, go to Structure and buy clothes at Structure, go to the fucking arcade, and even if there was something else that you wanted to do, like at least where I was, like it was all right there next to the mall. The movies were there, fucking everything. It would just be like, let's go, and it wasn't, you didn't even need to say anything other than, hey, let's go to the mall. Okay. and everybody just knew that meant we're probably gonna go see a movie. We're gonna fucking eat. We're gonna go to the arcade. We're gonna go look at girls. Whatever the fuck it was all encompassing. Let's go to the mall, and that's what you fucking did. And you were happy the whole fucking day. You were happy as shit just hanging out around the mall.
And it was always something that you could do. Just like, hey, I'm bored. What do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go to the mall.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nowadays, what do you do when you're bored? You just sit in front of your computer by yourself in a room.
It's on YouTube or Netflix. Yeah.
Because I'm so much older than y'all, that's why I actually like Wonder Woman 84, is because I was a teenager then, so that was my world.
1918, Wonder Woman 1984.
Wonder Woman 84 has some problems, but as far as that whole,
I will say, I've gone back and watched it again more recently. I think I watched it about 6 months ago. Just because, okay, let me see how bad it is. I will say my opinion improved upon viewing it again. Still not great.
Anti-gun Wonder Woman can suck it in a bad way.
But it was better than I originally thought. But that may have just been because I went in the second time knowing what to expect. So I got a little more enjoyment out of the things, like the little stupid 80s stuff and whatever else. It's still not a great movie. Like the first Wonder Woman, I love. I think that's a fantastic movie. I love.
There's so much about that. Like I said, I was a teenager then, so it took me back to my teenage memories of stuff, of life.
Kind of creepy the whole time that Wonder Woman's just fucking some random guy that happens to have the memories of her ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that part is really weird, but yes.
All right, I see. And you're okay with this. All right, cool. But
and the whole cheetah thing with that chick could have been done way better.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. It was just weird. And then there was just a lot. I like Pedro Pascal as an actor. He's great in Mandalorian. He's great in Last of Us. He's been in a lot of really cool things, Narcos and all kinds of other shit. He was horribly miscast in that movie. He should not have been in that movie at all.
Yeah.
But that movie's got a lot of fucking problems. Like I said, I only watched it because I was bored and I was like, you know what? I've only watched it once. Let me see if it's as bad as I remember. But honestly, I'll probably never watch it again. So it's not a movie I really give a shit about at all. So, but it is what it is, I guess. Anyway, where are we at? You know what? It's about time to wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen. It's about time to say goodbye. We have done our hour and a half here of the Geek Chat this Saturday evening. Tomorrow, I may or may not do a trigger time. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. Just depends on what all I've got going on tomorrow. My wife does want to watch the Super Bowl, so we are going to watch that, but that's not till later. So maybe early afternoon, I might hop on and do a show just for shits, and we'll see. But if not, then we'll be back on Monday night as usual. And then Honda, you're doing a chat tonight here. What, in about an hour or so, something like that? And he's muted, so we'll just assume it's going to be in about an hour or so, give or take. Oh, what do you got there? Oh, is that new one? I've got that.
Yeah, it's that Micro Squadron.
Yeah, Micro Galaxy Squadron.
What are those cost?
Squadron Galaxy or some shit.
$15.
Not bad.
And they're really detailed. They even come with little figures that fit in the cockpit.
Yeah, that's always a Micro Machines that did that, was it?
Yeah, Micro Machines did it. The Micro Machines ones were smaller than this. These are bigger.
Well, I remember there was a set of these that the dude barely it would move at the waist or whatever.
Itty bitty.
Oh yeah, look. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. They're cool. I've got a couple of them. They were
now. Is that all of the just Empire, all the Star Wars stuff, or do you get like the X-wing and then the X-wing from the new movie and the X-wing from the old movie?
They've got a few. I think they've got about 15 of them out now, different ships.
Yeah, the only ones at the locally to me, they have this X-wing, and they've got a TIE fighter, a speeder from Empire Strikes Back. What was it? They got one of the starfighters from what is it, one of the prequels, I think.
They've got the
And that's
one
the
I
only thing
want,
there.
but it's just too expensive, and I'm not going to buy it. Is the Millennium Falcon, but it's like $50. But it's like it's about shit. Not even on camera. It's about this big. You know what I mean? And it comes with the little teeny tiny figures and shit. It looks cool, but I'm not spending $50 on that, so that ain't gonna fucking happen. But all right, guys, that is it. We will see you guys possibly manana, but definitely on Monday. And yeah, hop on Honda's show here in a little bit, whenever the fuck he decides to do it. So that is it for today. We will see you guys later. Have fun, douche show, all that good stuff, and enjoy your weekend, guys. We'll see you later.